People are hungry for transportation that's a good, solid value. I'm here to tell you all about the new Kia K4, and I won't waste your time. Enjoy the photography, and hey, consider subscribing to the channel. Change can be uncomfortable. It doesn't always work either. For every Old Spice, transforming from dad aftershave to hipster brand, there's a dozen new Cokes. Kia has ditched the established Forte moniker to start fresh with K4. Not just a name switch. Conservative styling gives way to angular design so sharp it could cut your excuse to buy a crossover to shreds. Sedan enthusiasts will be thrilled to see that Kia hasn't abandoned the segment. Vehicles like Chevy Cruze, Ford Focus, and Dodge Dart may be gone from the marketplace, but it's not like K4 doesn't have competition. There's Mazda 3, Hyundai Elantra, Nissan Sentra, Volkswagen Jetta, Toyota Corolla, and of course, the big kahuna, Honda Civic. Pricing starts at a reasonable $23,145 for the LX trim, including destination from the plant in Mexico. That's a change. On average, K4 is a $2,000 premium over Forte. Still, this is a good value. I'm driving the top trim GT line, dipped in no-cost morning haze paint, a lovely bluish-greenish gray for those calibrating their monitors. Equipped with the premium and sunroof packages, the total comes to $28,300. Reasonable considering seats are heated and vented, plus the tunage is upgraded to a respectable 8-speaker Harman Kardon system with accurate reproduction. It's tough to see with the car so low, but both GT lines replace the rear torsion beam suspension with a multi-link setup, and yes, both, since there's an upgraded 1.6-liter turbocharged GT line, and that opens the door to additional features. It's not only extra power. I'm driving the naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that all other K4s have tucked under the hood. It produces 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. The turbo bumps that to 190 horses and 195 pound-feet. Turbos get an 8-speed automatic transmission. This standard engine moves with a continuously variable unit. There are simulated shifts here and here that are convincing. Drive modes? Yes, only 2 of them. This GT line gets larger rear disc brakes. The turbo ups the size of the fronts as well. The naturally aspirated 2-liter won't light the front wheels on fire. It delivers maximum power at 4,000 RPMs, so the turbo delivers its extra oomph lower in the rev range. Still, this engine feels and sounds really smooth. This is not terribly quick. 0 to 60 happens in around 8.5 seconds. Which is similar to the competition with their base engines. You could always go with the turbo. It should drop that figure to 7 seconds flat, but it is more expensive. Funny how that is. Most drivers will be satisfied with the Scoot in urban and suburban driving. Passing on 2-lane roads will require some extra thought. Enthusiasts, you'll want to pony up for the turbo. This engine is paired with a continuously variable transmission. In the past, I have not been a fan of the technology, but I'm kind of thinking I need to reconsider that position because they are getting a lot better. This one is very smooth. The average driver that's listening to tunes, drinking coffee, will probably not notice the slight rubbery dynamic that this one has. It's really well calibrated. Or upgrade to the turbo and the 8-speed gearbox. Forte could be had with a manual. K4 is denied, a change some will loathe. I haven't driven the lower trims with the torsion beam rear suspension, but GT Line's independent setup with firm but comfortable sport tuning avoids flintiness even with lower profile rubber on 18-inch wheels. Also, GT line gets a slightly quicker steering rack. Fling K4 into a corner, and it's a pretty good time. Trips to the grocery store will be fun. Body movements are very nicely controlled. Steering weight is good. There's some feel coming up through the wheel. The hairs on the back of my neck feel like Civic and Mazda 3 might be a little bit more fun, but this is good. K4s with 18-inch wheels get tires with sound deadening. The premium package on this car adds an acoustically laminated windshield, making the cabin moderately quiet. My ear would say it's more hushed than the Honda or Mazda. Visibility is quite good. K4 has a lot of glass and the dash cowl is low. It doesn't feel like sitting in a bathtub. The EPA rates the fuel economy average of this K4 at 33 miles per gallon, which is mid-pack in class. Unless you're talking about hybrids. K4 is not available with that kind of powertrain. Honda Civic is. It scores 49 mpg, Toyota Corolla 47. You know, if that's what you're looking for. One surprise, there is no fuel-saving automatic engine stop-start system in this K4. That's pretty unusual. K4's long list of standard ADAS safety tech includes intelligent speed limit assist, adaptive cruise with stop and go, plus automatic emergency braking with pedestrian and bicyclist detection. Highway Driving Assist offers up confident lane centering. The turbo can be had with the advanced Highway Driving Assist 2 system, evasive steering assist, plus much more high-end tech found only on luxury cars a few years ago. It's best to check Kia's website to see what comes with which trim and option package. Budget-friendly, K4's cockpit is a welcome change from Forte, rivaled only by Civic. Kia offers a fashion-forward green colorway on other trims. GT line goes white on black or black on red. Interesting textures and quality materials fill the space even down low. Black cabins can be dank and dour. K4 avoids that. Things that are touched will please fingertips, especially the wheel, though it's not available with heat. Would be nice on this cold day. The upgraded seats of the premium package that switch cloth for synthetic leather are on the flat side, not overly supportive for long-distance travel. The drivers gets power and memory, passengers do it manually. Want a bird's eye camera view? Oh, that's an option on the turbo. K4 has a connected user interface, which means it's accessing the cloud, which means for full functionality, it requires a data plan. It's kind of cold. I'm looking for some chili.
Please say the line number of the location you want to go to.
Oh, Mike's Chili. It's legendary in Seattle, and I've never been there. Time to right that wrong. Number 3.
Would you like guidance to this location?
Yes, even though it's right by my house. I know where it is. There are some hard buttons, always helpful. Drivers will find that the HVAC information between the two 12.3-inch displays is somewhat blocked by the steering wheel, and this volume knob operation is touchy. Any small bumps while driving tends to turn the sound system off. The one on the wheel is better. Not using the connected interface voice commands? Well, screen response is good. Menu flow is intuitive. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are wireless. Phone as key is an option, exclusive to the turbo. Charging phones is a cinch, wireless or corded. K4 gets the usual spots to store things away. The center console is deep. Door pockets? Those are on the smaller side. If you're the kind of person who doesn't need cup holders, Kia lets you add another storage cubby. Unusual door handles aside, let's tackle the back seat. The sloping roofline means you do kind of have to duck to get in and out. I'm 5'9", and headroom for me is just enough. Knee and legroom are quite generous, but Footroom a little bit tight. Cushions are long enough, but on the low side, so thigh support is average. Also average, the size of the door openings, but, getting in and out, not much of an issue. Door storage is pretty small, and one of my pet peeves, no pocket on the driver's side seat back. There is this little cubby here, and you can charge phones. There are no adjustable vents back here, let alone a separate climate zone. Heated seats in back are not a thing in K4. There is a spine. It's moderate in size. It affects footroom a little bit. Cup holders? Cup holders are here. That's pretty standard. Typically, passengers want something to drink, and this bench isn't overly wide. So, while there are belts for 3 and a trio of average adults will fit back here, it'll be a little bit snug. So, for maximum comfort, definitely 2 people. Forte was a handsome wallflower. Kia's current opposites united design language changes that up. Points for going bold. K4 is an extrovert with star map lighting, the same look found on EV9 and the freshened EV6. Reaching down towards the pavement, it gives K4 a low-slung look. The rear overhang is longish. GT line gets gloss black accents down below. From 20 paces, the fastback look is crisp and sleek. Up close, there's a lot happening in the C-pillar. The door handle gives it a fussy look, though I'll admit, after walking up to the car for 3 or 4 days, it kind of disappears. Kind of. There's some thought that sedans are a little bit more secure than SUVs and hatchbacks because the trunk is a metal box and there's no glass to look in so thieves can see what you've got to steal. But the reality is, if they want to get in, they're going to get in. The trunk floor is as flat as Florida. The flattest state, actually. Kansas comes in 7th after Illinois and Minnesota, and a spare. It's well trimmed for budget transportation, though no power port. This is a deep boot, and unless there's something long to push the seat backs down, it's best to go to the back seat to give them a yank. There's a lip, but chances are all but the longest IKEA boxes will stuff in here. With all the seats filled, this space measures out at 14.6 cubic feet. K4 makes the most of that by swallowing up an impressive 6 packs of the 2-ply. 7 can squeeze in, but the hinge arms would crush the sides, and I have to bring this stuff back. And so for improved utility and arguably looks, Kia says this fetching hatchback version is coming later in 2025. Fully loaded at a retail price of around $28,000, this is strong value even if it's more expensive than Forte. K4 is a better car. It deserves the new name. The refinement is easy to notice. The cabin is much nicer. The tech is impressive. There are features on this that you can't get on competitors. This has ventilated seats. Plus, it's fun to drive, at least in GT line trim. The C-pillar is kind of busy. I'm getting used to that, and it could use more power. The turbo rectifies that, though. Buying in this segment? 10-4 to checking out the Kia K4. Change, in this case, is good. How about that? No Forte puns. Also, as a musician, I feel the word is often used wrong. Forte means loud or strong, not strength. Not my loud, not my strong. Doesn't make sense. Whatever. Don't get me started on have your cake and eat it too, or primer, which should be pronounced primer. What I learned during my days at the New York Times. Martin Campbell and I get up at the crack of dawn to shoot running footage. There are fewer cars on the road to distract your eye. The lighting is better. It's been cold in the Pacific Northwest, and we had to de-ice the K4 before shooting. Visuals, it's what we do. Martin is saying he still doesn't know his Instagram channel name, so here's the graphic. Oddly, my phone didn't record audio. I guess it's hooked up to CarPlay. But check out his channel, lots of great photos of the vehicles that we've tested. Hope you got something out of my look at the 2025 Kia K4 GT line. And real quick before I go, oftentimes at the end I say, if you have a question, leave it in the comments. I do my best to get to the good ones, but it might not be me. It might be one of the people that follow this channel, because you know what? This has become a pretty darn good community. In fact, when I go on events, other auto writers ask if I edit the comments, and I don't. Generally, people here are really great. So sign up, okay? Click notifications, follow me on social media, and if you have a question, leave it here. I will try to get to it. Thanks for watching. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.